Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richard Unicorn Caller here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back. We had a maintenance period that happened earlier this morning. I went on the update notes website to see if they had posted the patch notes yet. They have not, so we'll do a follow-up video for that to get the specific, changes and bug fixes and whatnot in a separate video. Yesterday there was a 12 days of the spiral event, but I decided to skip out on the video just because it was just a reskinned pet. I really do wish they would stop wasting a day just on a reskinned pet. I really don't understand why. I feel like this just could have been its own promotion whatsoever. Like, this day could have been anything else, but if you want a Yeti with an ugly little sweater, which is absolutely adorable, go check out the Crown Shop, right? We can actually check out the Crown Shop now real quick just to see like what item cards that pet would give, but yeah, I decided not to make a video. I was like, yeah, it comes with guidance, like, wait, where did this go? It comes with guidance. I mean, a plus 25 guidance item card. I mean, do you really want it? There you go. It costs 4,000 crowns, so have fun with that. Alright, so let's talk about probably the biggest thing that happened today in the maintenance. They actually adjusted the Darkmoor recipes. Now, let me know if you see the difference now. Let me know. Do you see the difference? Look at that. No more ICHOR. No more aged ICHOR. No more. Awesome. You could have done that at launch. The only thing they did was double the cost for relics, which relics are super easy to get. But hopefully that should be a lot more easier for everybody to basically craft the gear, right? And as I've said multiple times in the videos and during my time doing like 2 hours or 1 hour of farming the ICHOR, probably one of the worst, and I'm not exaggerating, probably one of the worst farms they've done for gear crafting in a very long time. And I say that proudly because previously we've had gear recipes where it would not really be this difficult to craft gear and upgrade your gear and whatever. But this one, in particular, with the aged ICHOR, that one was probably that was the worst. I hope they never do that again with a harvest or a rare harvest type of reagent. And, I see a lot of people play this game that are still wearing the Darkmoor robe and the Darkmoor hat from 2014. And I honestly do not blame them because when you launch the game, or at least launch these updates, and you have these horrendous gear drops or these horrendous crafting recipes like the aged ICHOR, I can see why nobody would want to farm for gear, especially if it's only a slight upgrade. And my boy Shronky, he actually just made an awesome comment. He said, bro, let's be real. Nobody wants to just play the game, period. Like, they're gonna complain about it no matter what. They complain if there is or isn't a gear upgrade. They complain if the farm is too hard or if it's too easy. They get bored fast and complain. There's nothing to do. Facts. Bro, straight up facts, bro. So now, you'll be able to craft this gear with just relics. Thankfully, I'm done with the gear crafting. I wish you all of luck. Now let's check out the other one. Same with the boots, the wand. Yeah, ICHOR is just completely gone. Oh wow, I might actually be able to craft a deck now too. You still use your aged ICHOR to get some of the whatchamacallit. If you needed some of these, whatchamacallit, housing items. Oh my god, they added a why? They added a transmute aged ICHOR? Bro, that is so funny, bro. Look how much ICHOR I have. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Wait, did I change my camera? Okay, I did. Oh, they finally did it, bro. Why did you do this at the start? Like, why? Like, why didn't you do this at the start, bro? Like, bro, it's like, it's literally, you add this in, but then you remove it from, like, the recipes. Like, dude, unless you're a housing decorator and you just want to craft these 4 items, I just... Like, what was the point, bro? What was the point? See, you could have kept the ICHOR part. You could have kept the age ICHOR part in and just added the transmute, as I've been saying. That also would have been fine. You didn't have to just take out the ICHOR entirely and then just double up the relics, because, to be fair, this still might take people quite some time to farm all those relics. Dude, I'm telling you, KI just wants people to throw away their time, bro. Wizard101 is like the new Call of Duty, man. Thank you for adding the transmute aged ICHOR, but I'm just gonna have all this ICHOR for nothing now. What a waste, dude. Oh my god, man. That is funny. I'm not noticing anything new for the jewels. Jewels look the same amount. Yeah, jewels look fine. That is funny, dude. That is actually that is funny. That is funny. I wonder if there are like any other crafters out there that will take aged ICHOR. That is funny. I mean, we've seen everybody in here in the Outsiders camp running around with speed hacks, which, by the way, that is cheating. Don't do that. Running around here zipping across because everybody's farming for ICHOR. Look, I think they... Wait, did they make ICHOR look a little bit more detailed? I don't remember it looking this detailed. Look at it. They didn't make it more, like, visually you can see it? Oh my god, dude. They're doing everything Dude, you could have did this at the launch! Like, what are you doing? Oh my god. You know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They did it to do it. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. If y'all do want to make another gear crafting world, dude, literally do all of this from the start. This doesn't even need our maintenance. You could just wait. Oh my god, they just released the patch notes. They just released it. Alright. Alright, we're gonna check it out, chat. We're gonna check it out real quick. It's like, dude, you could have just done this in the beginning. Am I going crazy? Anyway, I'm just glad they did it to do it, but bro, better late than never, I guess. Oh wait, oh, it's down here, December 7th. Okay, here it is. I had to scroll down. Yep, December 17th. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh boy, developer note. Oh god, I can't wait to see this. All right, y'all. Here we go. Let's do this. This is funny. Okay. So, December 17th, 2025, they removed ICHOR from Darkmoor gear recipes. So, developer note, after reviewing the pity system, we determined that ICHOR did not fit its intended purpose. Yeah, no, bro, it really didn't. The system is designed to mitigate bad luck using resources obtained directly from bosses. Since ICHOR does not drop from combat, both ICHOR and Age ICHOR have been removed from Darkmoor boss-related recipes. Like, dude. So Zara can now transmute 15 ICHOR for 1 Age ICHOR for recipes that still require it. ICHOR is now probably labeled as a rare harvest in the reagent UI. Like, dude. Don't ever do the rare harvest ever again. That was terrible. Don't ever do it again. Like, you did it this year, and now you know that it doesn't work with the community. Don't do it again. Because everybody that I knew had negative things to say about the gear crafting. Like, everybody. Not a single polite nothing. Like, don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Like, literally, I have videos of myself farming for the aged ICHOR, and I'm literally falling asleep. Like, that's how terrible it was. Do you know how bad a game has to be to where I fall asleep in my chair? That is bad. That is really, really bad. Don't do it again. And I say this every day. Just take your time with these updates so you can get it right the first time and so you don't have to make more work for yourselves. Okay? Like, hopefully there's enough data for them to figure out this didn't work. Let's not do that again. Don't do it again, please. My goodness, it's not rocket science. I'm telling you, you can have people play this game longer, but the fact is, when you launch it in a state like that, then people are gonna drop the game easily. People aren't going to be willing to farm their gear because you done made it inaccessible as possible. Oh god, oh, I'm seeing ghastly stuff. Hang on, Raiders, I'm seeing ghastly stuff. Okay, Shadow Pact, so these are the combat fixes and changes. So Shadow Pact effects no longer persist after the pact ends, okay. Mobs defeated by Shadow Pact backlash now properly grants completion credit, okay. Ending combat with Shadow Pact now correctly triggers the ending cinematic, okay. Resolved an issue where Mr. Ghastly and the Ghastly Conspiracy Raid could mana unleash twice, which happened to my guild, and we ended up dying for it. That was a waste of a raid key, bro. That's crazy. Health stat maximums in advanced combat have been corrected to their intended values. Hold up. Hold up. Let me see. Let me run Chemith. Let me run the stat caps. Let's find it. Let's see if the bot finds it or if they adjusted it. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I swear they adjusted it. No, I think it's still the same. I think it's still the same. Wait, let me run. Let me do it for Storm. I know Storm Wizards, they have it rough. I'll do that later. I'm gonna do that later. I know Storm Wizards for sure have it way rough. That's funny though. Okay. So some Mr. Ghastly stuff, we love to see that for the raid. Address multiple issues with Velma's spells in the Hierophant fight. Oh my gosh. Count Strigoi no longer revived prematurely after casting Dark Tribute. Oh my goodness. Increased demi-immortal recruit minion health to 50 to 250. Okay, we like to see some buffs. Headless Horseman no longer becomes stuck repeatedly casting Empower. Oh my gosh. Great Man Golems now use the correct deck. They had the wrong deck. Ban the following spells from advanced combat? Whoa! They banned all of the Tartarus stuff. I wonder why they did that. Why did they ban stun block? What was there like a what's wrong with stun block? That's such a weird, that's weird. So wait, you can't use stun block anymore? Oh my god, you can't use Wrath of Apollo, Wrath of Aklar, Ares, Kronos, my bad, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Wow. I don't know how people are gonna feel about that one. I mean, I haven't seen anyone use them in like raids or whatever. That might mess up a few strategy guides here and there, but that's funny, dude. Like, why stun block in there? Like, okay. Oh man, a lot of quest and zones. So, oh my god, this is gonna take us a minute. Oh my god, dude, look up my stuff at 50. Good lord. Okay, all right. Resolve the rare progression blocker preventing access to Howling Lands during Into the Howling Lands. That was a comment I saw. Hopefully that gets resolved and hopefully that fixed everybody's stuff. Address a rare bad related progression issue in the Delusion of Choice. Corrected an issue where clues could fail to spawn Broken Branch Hovel. Second, it lies in Black Lagoon. Now grants sufficient energy to complete the quest. That's nice. Corrected Buttlebee's conditional dialogue in The Wrong of Creation. We made some changes to Heretical Academy Standard Mode to resolve the issues involving returning to the dungeon. Yes, because that was a big issue, and I absolutely hated it, so I'm really glad that they fixed this. So fleeing combat now returns players to the dungeon entrance. That's really good. Health Wisps have been added after defeating the entrance exam and the preceptors. That is awesome. Love it. Prevented zone tokens from being awarded earlier and intended. That's nice. Dungeon recall and teleport markers have been disabled. You know, that's another thing. It might, you know, this game, you read these patch notes, it just keeps getting older and older. I actually found a way that you could use the teleport markers in that dungeon. It's just a nice way to kind of traverse the dungeon. Now, in Test Realm, the markers worked fine, and it was a great way to travel. But for some reason, I'm guessing they have them disabled now, so you won't really be able to, like, I guess, zip around too much in the dungeon, sort of speaks. I mean, push comes to shove, if you're really pressed on time, feel free to use whatever hacking technology that you have and speed around the map. I've seen a lot of people use speed hacks in that dungeon, and I don't know why. Like, it's not that bad of a dungeon when you need to use it, but, you know, all these storm wizards are so pressed to upgrade their gear, man. Like, dude, relax, bro. Like, you zipping around the whole thing, like, chill. Anyway, I'm glad that they did those changes. Not in agreement with the whole teleport markers being disabled. I just don't think that's necessary. And like I said, it might just be old technology or, you know, just old coding. Maybe there's just something that they couldn't do or figure out. You know, there's a lot of things in this game that they can't figure out or really do. Just on the resource aspect of it is really rough. Let's keep reading though. Clarified objectives for the quest: the recent victim in Mina Clark's house. So Music and Bastion and Silent Market now correctly updates after Shadow Self. Nice. The fourth player in the Bog of Vengeance now appears in the correct position. Fixed an issue with Dungeon Recall in Liar's Grove, Darkmoor, and Mongu Refuge and Mirage. They fixed an issue where wizards could improperly skip the quest Achilles Deal, Wizard City, and stop the cat Marleybone. Updated the Death Darkmoor spell quest prerequisite to require completion of Interlude with a Vampire. Overgrown Estate challenge mode now properly randomizes the werewolf. Runa and Apprentice Bucklar, yeah, if I pronounce that right, no longer appear in multiple locations at once. Ensured Maxine Rockefeller appears during World Peace. The quest helper no longer directs players to the old one's office before it becomes accessible. Fire's level 58 pet quest, Cinder and Smoke, is no longer mislabeled as a gardening quest. That's a funny one. Alright, so we got some art, animation, and visual polish. Resolved texture issues with the headless man's horse mount. Corrected alpha sorting issues on the pilot in Arcanum. Cleaned up textures on the snowflake pet. Okay. Grave Home Inn's skybox textures now load properly for all players. Addressed texture sorting issues outside of the Grave Home Inn castle. Female vampire models in Shadow Fiend now play fidget animations. Okay. Gargoyle Guard dialogue animations will now play as intended. Broken Branch hats animate appropriately for Style B Wizards, which is basically the girl version, I believe. Style A is the guy's style. Resolved texture issues with Broken Branch robe gloves. Ambient Manders in Crocotopia now animate properly. Fix an issue where the following spells had dome backdrop issues. Deathly Depths, Bunny Hips, Rage, Star Spawn, Improbable Gaze, Burrowing Mane, Deer Mouse Trap, the Vim's Resurgence, Hero of Chrysalis, Kia, Revolutionary Strike, and Whiteheart Fire. Fix the death animation on skeleton pirate models. Fix an issue where some Winter Witch items had the wrong icon in the pack opening menu. Glamorous Suit of Rhythm now allow Style A wizards to dye it red. Fix an issue where Reindeer Knight's attack animation did not show in the opponent's camera. Reindeer Knight Tier 3 now correctly displays snow on the ground. Pretty cool stuff. This change also includes minor camera and FX polish across all Deer Knight variants. Pretty cool. We made changes to several reagent to improve their visuals and slash or add reagent sparkle FX. Darkmoor ICHOR, that's what we just saw recently with the ICHOR. The ICHOR looked a lot more noticeable. Like you can easily see it now. Wizard City Flax, that's also pretty cool. Caramel is Pretzel Sticks, Avalon is the Rose, and Wallaroo the Dreamstone. Corrected multiple portrait and model mismatches across the spiral following the Wizard City and Crocotopia HD updates. Nice. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, the Miscellaneous. Whoa! Wait, what is this? Added Arcanum to Team Up Kiosk. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's actually really cool. Sarnonic's rug housing item can now be walked on. Okay. The Darkmoor wagon housing item can now be placed. Okay. Updated names and schools for some Wallaroo jewels to match their item cards. Okay. King Artorias Tier 2A treasure card now displays correct damage. Fixing the issue where level 180 raid items sorted incorrectly. Added a missing description to Forest Elf's Forest Lord item card. Removed a broken yes menu chat option during Beast Moon Hunt. Updated descriptions for the following Darkmoor badges to better clarify requirements. Sickest Wind Ever, Winter Forager, and Fart Pyre with Pyre. Radio wheel will no longer improperly open when pressing the menu chat button. Guild leaders' other characters now appear in the permission list. Fixed an issue where guild lieutenants cannot have other roles. Guild lieutenant permissions can now be removed. Pretty cool stuff. I like that. And that is all of your patch notes for December 17th. Pretty good stuff. Pretty solid stuff. But like I said, dude, there was a lot going for Darkmoor, dude. Just a lot. It just seems like this thing was not ready in the slightest, but hey, like I said, better late than never. Probably the best thing about this entire update, or at least the patch notes, is the whole recipe situation. Now, it is still going to take you time to get those relics, yes, but you don't have to worry about any of the ICHOR whatsoever. That was probably like the biggest part. And look, there's more ICHOR here. So we're probably not going to see anybody even get this ICHOR to begin with. I don't think there's really a reason to really farm for it. I mean, unless there is another crafter that, you know, has ICHOR recipes, but the only thing I can find is just some of these housing items. And then you got the transmute, but you don't know what to use your aged ICHOR on. So I don't, and that's where it gets kind of confusing with this patch. So they're helping out with the crafting a little bit, but at the same time, it just kind of seems like, okay, well, what's the point? What was the point of farming all that ICHOR to begin with? And as already said, you know, it wasn't dropping from bosses or anything like that, so it didn't necessarily align with, you know, the whole crafting philosophy, I guess. Like, I don't really know how their heads work. I just don't want them to do this again. Because, like I said, this was probably, like, going backwards. This was, like, really, really bad. I'm just running around the world just to see if there's, like, a crafter that will, I don't know, like, take ICHOR. I mean, this is a housing vendor. I mean, crafting. Yeah, I mean, it's just, It's just housing items now that are going to take the aged ichor. And now that there's a transmute, it shouldn't even be easy. Like, it shouldn't even be hard to get now. But it's like, let me put my mount on real quick. I forgot to take my mount on. Put my mount on. Loomis, he's a reagent vendor. He just had a bunch of stuff. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. Like, it just seems like. Just seems like it's kind of like a dead reagent now. I don't know. I mean, what can we craft here? I mean, more just... Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna craft a tree? I guess. Is it like another gear vendor? Or maybe can we craft some snacks? Like... Let me see. What did this guy do? No? I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know what to use all this ichor for. I feel like this could have been added in the game, right? I would have been perfectly fine if they kept the ichor in. I just wanted the transmute. That was the biggest thing. Oh, look, I just got aged ichor. Look at that. I just got super lucky. I got aged ichor. Because the transmute would have helped out a lot with that. But, hey, whatever they want to do, man, it is what it is. I mean... I think that person over there is the gear. That's like for the challenge mode stuff. Yeah, that's for the challenge mode. We ain't do challenge mode yet. What about this? I can't wait to level up my alt account so I can just do challenge mode by myself. Humble bed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. I'm pretty sure the main use of it... I mean, did we go down there? I don't think we went down there. Can we make like a... I wonder, can we make like a socket wrench? That would be a cool use of aged ichor. Jewel vendor? No, they should just buy jewels there. Can we like... That would be so cool if you make like legendary socket wrenches. Let's go over here to Sister Planar. These are treasure card vendors. Can we craft anything with these? No. I'm just trying to find out if there's going to be something to use. Sister Planner, what do you got for us? No, it's just the same thing, man. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly do not know what you would use it for. I'm pretty sure we just explored this whole thing. Unless I'm probably missing one. More ichor. Useless. I don't know. I just like... They definitely should not repeat this again. Like, you already got the data. I mean, you got the community outcry about it. You know that this doesn't really work anymore. I mean, I'm not seeing any vendors here. Like, what do you use it for? Just for like housing items now? Like, I don't know. One thing though they didn't do is add in my circle jewel. My flawless mending opal +8 as a jewel. That would have been the icing on the cake. But they sadly do not have it as a recipe yet. That is one of the very few jewels that is still not a recipe. I don't know why, but if you ever come across this jewel that's +8% and it's a circle, you should probably keep it. One of the hardest jewels I've ever farmed for. One of the most obnoxious jewels too. I guess we can keep going just to see, but like I'm not really seeing any vendors on the map. Are there vendors around here? I'm not really seeing much. I don't know, guys. I do not know. I really don't think there's really anything to use the aged Ichor for besides just housing items at best. I honestly kind of feel bad for all the players, including myself, that kind of farmed. And that's why I was asking for the transmute. Like, just give us the transmute and problem solved. You didn't have to get rid of it entirely from the gear crafting recipes and then just double up the cost of the relics. That's still going to take people quite some time if that's what they're trying to go for. But still, if we had, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Just don't do this again. Like, don't, with the rare harvest, don't do it again. Like, what y'all had in Wallaroo, that was fine. Right? You could farm for Dream Water, and then you could get the Dreamstone. That was super easy to get. What you also had in Selenopolis was also pretty decent, too. All you needed was some moon gold, or moon dust. Right? That was fine, too. What you had in Novus was also pretty fair, too. Like, then you go backwards with this update. I don't know. We're slowly getting there to a point where it's starting to get a little bit better. But I think right now the damage has already kind of like been done. You know, like I think once people kind of got into the game, they saw Darkmoor and they saw these egregious chore like reagents, or you know, you got farm for these reagents and you got farm for it. It's going to take you some time. That's when I think a lot of people kind of backed off and said, okay, well, I don't want to farm for this gear anymore. My goodness, the spawn rate is crazy. I mean, it just sucks now that there's really nothing to use this for. And as already said in the developer note, yes, it would have been better if the Ichor did drop from bosses. But again, I don't know if they have the tech to do that and whatever. Good on Artie, though, for the developer note. I think this is the first time, though, we've seen in a Wizard101 patch note where they actually like add a personal developer note. Now, don't take my word for that, because some of them can be a little bit detailed, some of them can be a little vague, but I do like that. I hope they continue to do that for future patch notes and future updates, so they can let the players know exactly why this had changed and why, you know, this has happened, right? Not for every spell change or whatever, but like, I don't know why they banned stun block. Like, I don't know what's the deal with that, but okay, it is what it is. But I don't need a developer note for that, because they're always banning spells constantly. It's become kind of like the norm now for this game. But I will say that I do like that developer note talking about the whole Ichor situation. Because a lot of people go into these updates, they don't know what's going on or whatever, and they don't know the reason why. I like how they did that. So hopefully, continuing forward, they keep doing that. Because transparency is going to be your key thing about keeping the community happy, right? Especially if you're doing some drastic changes, such as this one. And concerning that, hopefully everybody will now have a chance, or at least a shot at crafting the gear finally once and for all. But as I said before, this should have all been at launch, right? Like, this all should have been at launch. You know, when you wait so long, I think we're like a month in already for the update, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure when Darkmoor came out. I think around like November, but we're kind of like almost in a month in. So I think players have already established that they don't want to farm for the gear anymore. So it's going to be hard to kind of bring those players back in. Now, if you did it at launch, like if you did all of this at launch, if you added the transmute recipe, if you made Ichor very visible to see, and then you added in these gear recipes that don't take Ichor, or they, you know, do take Ichor, but you have the transmute, that also would have been fine, because I have thousands of Ichor that I'm not going to use anymore. Like, I have no reason to use it. So I don't know, but I mean, if you're a housing decorator and you have lots of it, definitely make some housing items. But still, if you get that down on the first time, then you kind of save yourself on a little bit of work. I don't know if KI is on like a time crunch with these updates. It just kind of seems like they'll do something and then they'll kind of finish it up over time, you know? It's kind of almost like going to McDonald's and you have to pull up. You know how you have to like pull up to like the drive-through or pull up to like parking spot number 1? Like they'll give you a drink and everything, but you gotta wait for the French fries to kind of, you know, be done making. I would know because our McDonald's across, well, the street from us, it takes ages for them to give us our order, right? And we gotta get them because the kids eat them because, you know, that's the only thing they eat. So I'm hoping that in the future they do all this bare minimum at launch. That's my only gripe about it. But I am happy about the gear recipes. I'm happy about the whole ICHOR situation. I'm also happy about the whole Mr. Ghastly thing. That was a big one, and that costed us a raid win, potentially a raid win. Yeah, it didn't really make sense on what was going on with that. And raids are very tricky to find bugs out with because, of course, you gotta make the raid key. You gotta find the people to do it. And then if you come across a bug, you can just kind of hope and pray that, you know, the issue gets resolved early. And again, that's another thing why I hope that they can kind of nail on the launch, right? All right, so that's ending my rant. I mean, I'm done farming ICHOR. I don't even know what I'm doing now. But until then, let me know what you guys think about all of that and all of what I said in the comments. And I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this whole Darkmoor gear crafting situation. I would also love to know, like, what your guys' gear is looking like. Like, are you a casual player and are you farming for gear anymore in this game? Like, you still rocking like the Darkmoor? I'm not gonna roast y'all or anything, but hey, I don't even blame y'all for still rocking like the OG 2014 like Darkmoor gear. I don't blame y'all because again, you have gear recipes like this and the farming can be atrocious. Maybe you just don't have the energy to do it. I would love to know your guys' thoughts about that. But until then, my name is Richard Unicorn Caller, and I will see you guys later. I will do a follow-up video on the following up day, or you know, whatever today's 12 days of the spiral announcement will be. But until then, peace out.